5 minutes. That's all David Fincher needs. 5 minutes to establish every single thing you need to know about Mark Zuckerberg. And none of it involves a computer. The Social Network came out in 2010. It's a movie about the founding of Facebook. And on paper, that sounds completely uncinematic. A guy types fast, sends some emails, and accidentally becomes a billionaire. So how did David Fincher, Aaron Sorkin, and a cast led by Jesse Eisenberg turn a tech origin story into one of the most gripping films of the 21st century? Today, I want to argue that The Social Network isn't just a great film, it is one of the greatest biopics ever made. And the reason why tells us something profound about what the genre can actually do. Let's start with the problem. Biopics are one of the most reliably frustrating genres in cinema. They follow the same formula with almost religious devotion. Show the subject as a kid, fast forward through the struggle, hit the famous moment, show the fall, hint at the redemption, repeat every award season. The result is that most biopics don't feel like films. They feel like Wikipedia pages with a soundtrack. You get the facts, you don't get the truth. The Social Network makes a radical choice from the very beginning. It doesn't care about being accurate. Sorkin himself said he was writing a modern myth, and that honesty about what the film is trying to do is exactly what sets it apart. Because great biopics aren't really about the person, they're about what that person reveals about the world around them. And The Social Network uses Mark Zuckerberg as a lens to examine something far bigger: obsession, ambition, class, and the loneliness baked into the very architecture of connection. Let's talk about the script, because it is genuinely extraordinary. The opening scene is a masterclass. Mark and Erica are talking at a bar, and the dialogue fires at machine gun pace. But if you slow down and actually listen, Sorkin is doing something surgical. Every line tells you something about who these people are and what they want. Mark is brilliant, tactless, and terrified of being ordinary. Erica is smart enough to see through him and secure enough to walk away. Mark Zuckerberg will spend the rest of this movie trying to prove something to a girl who has already moved on. Sorkin also structures the film non-linearly, cutting between two separate legal depositions and the events being recalled. It's a genius device. It means the film never needs an antagonist, because every version of every character is being disputed in real time. You're never quite sure who's lying, who's right, or who got the worst deal. And that ambiguity is the point. The script won the Oscar deservedly, but it's Fincher's direction that elevates it from great writing to great cinema. David Fincher is a technical perfectionist. He's famous for doing 50, 60, sometimes 99 takes of a single shot. But his real gift isn't precision, it's control of tone. The Social Network feels cold. The color palette is desaturated blues and grays. The lighting is harsh and digital. Harvard looks like a place where warmth comes with a membership fee. And the tech world looks like a place where warmth was never invited. And then there's the Henley Royal Regatta Sea. The Winklevoss twins, played brilliantly by Arnie Hammer, row in perfect unison while Trent Reznor's score swells underneath. It's shot almost like a nature documentary. Fincher lingers on it, and what you feel is the immense, almost mythological gap between old money and new obsession. These guys had everything and still got beaten by someone who had nothing to lose. Fincher's pacing is also relentless without ever feeling rushed. The film is 2 hours long and never once drags, which is remarkable for a movie where the climax is signing legal documents. You cannot talk about this film without talking about Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Their score won the Oscar, and it might be the most perfectly matched soundtrack to a film ever made. It sounds like the inside of a server room having an existential crisis. It's electronic, eerie, and oddly melancholic. It never tells you how to feel. It just makes sure you feel slightly unsettled, which is exactly right for a film about a man building a tool for human connection, while himself being incapable of it. The score doesn't celebrate Mark, it mourns him a little, and that emotional undercurrent is what keeps the film from being a straightforward success story. Jesse Eisenberg was robbed of an Oscar. I will die on this hill. His performance as Zuckerberg is a tightrope act. He has to be unlikable enough that you believe he'd stab a friend in the back, but sympathetic enough that you actually feel something at the end. Most actors would pick one side. Eisenberg walks the line the entire film. The deposition scenes are where he shines brightest. He delivers Sorkin's rapid-fire dialogue while somehow making you believe that Mark is simultaneously the smartest and the loneliest person in every room. There's a line where he's asked if he has the attention of the room, and he responds, almost bored, "You have part of my attention. You have the minimum amount." It's a brutal line, and Eisenberg delivers it with exactly the right mixture of arrogance and exhaustion. And then there's the final shot. Mark, alone at his laptop, refreshing Erica's Facebook profile. The boy who built the world's largest social network, friendless. It's devastating, and it lands entirely because of what Eisenberg has built in the 2 hours before it. So let's bring it back to the original question. Why is this one of the greatest biopics ever made? First, it understands that truth and accuracy are not the same thing. Sorkin took liberties. The real Zuckerberg disputes much of the film, but emotional truth is different from the factual truth. And this film nails the emotional truth of what it feels like to build something enormous and still feel like you lost. Second, it uses its subject to interrogate a cultural movement. The social network isn't really about Facebook. It's about the early 2000s, the meritocracy myth, the way ambition corrodes friendship, and what it means to be liked by millions while struggling to be liked by one person. Third, it was genuinely prophetic. In 2010, Facebook was cool and aspirational. Watching it now, knowing what we know about data privacy, algorithmic manipulation, and the corrosive effect of social media on society, the film feels almost uncomfortably prescient. There's something chilling about the fact that the platform shaping reality was built by someone trying to process a breakup. And four, every single craft element points in the same direction. The script, score, cinematography, editing, performance, all of it serves the same thematic purpose. That kind of total artistic alignment is genuinely rare. The last line of the film is a lawyer telling Mark, "You're not an asshole, Mark. You're just trying so hard to be." That's the whole movie in one sentence. It's a film about performance, about a person constructing a version of himself that he hopes the world will find impressive, at the cost of everything that might have made him genuinely happy. The social network will age beautifully because the question at its center, what are we actually doing when we connect online, and what are we losing when we do, is only going to get more urgent. If you haven't seen it recently, go back to it. And if you have seen it, watch the opening scene again. Notice everything it tells you in 5 minutes. That's filmmaking. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and let me know in the comments what do you think makes a great biopic. I'd love to hear it.